Few crime syndicates have captured the imagination like the Yakuza. Maybe it's the fascination with their elaborate full-body tattoos or morbid curiosity about all the severed fingers.
It's mysterious, secretive, and utterly ruthless, with a fearsome reputation around the world.
Joining is easy, and sometimes so is leaving. But after that, then what? The first step to starting a post-Yakuza life is leaving the organization. Details about separating from the group are scarce and anecdotal. Most former Yakuza aren't willing to speak about that life.
Like the Mafia, the Yakuza insist on a ruthless code of silence. Any transgressions and the sentence is immediate death.
But in a rare interview given to Insider, former Wakagashira, or second-in-command, Shinya Yuyama, revealed that there are as many ways to leave the Yakuza as there are members. Each Yakuza cell operates under its own boss despite the umbrella term Yakuza, and leaving depends on the boss's preference. Yuyama claims he had a good relationship with his boss. Even so, he won't say exactly what he had to do to leave, which is telling.
What's it like to be a Yakuza? I could write about that.
Yes. Then I'd have to kill you.
We can clarify one misconception though. It's somewhat common knowledge that Yakuza members can be identified by their missing pinkies. It's true that members who've broken rules or angered their superiors engage in ritual amputation called yubitsumi, or apology. Afterwards, the severed digit is given to one's boss, who might bury it, freeze it, enshrine it, or whatever else they can think of. But this doesn't happen as payment for leaving the Yakuza.
It's not an easy thing to do, but it intimidates people.
In fact, Yuyama told Insider that it's more common for people to leave the Yakuza by vanishing, rather than by asking to leave. But one's former gang associates aren't the only problems faced by an ex-Yakuza. People with ties to criminal organizations have severely restricted options in Japan. They can't open a bank account, get a loan, sign a rental agreement, and more. In many ways, members of the Yakuza are marked for life. The Asahi Shimbun quotes an unnamed former member who said, "I was concerned whether someone like me, who has been a member of a gang for a long time, could really live in normal society." For him, leaving and starting a new life was especially difficult because he'd risen in rank and made a name for himself, owed favors to people, developed relationships, and all that goes with that. Upon leaving, he tried to change everything about himself down to his accent, word choice, gait, mannerisms, and more. Still, some neighbors know who he used to be.
There are a lot of establishments that won't let Yakuza in. Public baths, golf courses, some restaurants.
Some former Yakuza live more openly. For example, while he was in prison, Yoshitomo Morohashi studied law and even passed the bar exam. Ryuichi Komura, who dropped out in junior high school, took advantage of 8 years in prison to study and pass a judicial scrivener exam. Tatsuya Shindo, meanwhile, went to seminary and became a priest. Then there's Megumi Hashimoto, who got into politics. As a fourth-generation Zainichi, descended from ethnically Korean people who were often marginalized in Japan, Hashimoto got roped into the Yakuza at a young age through his mother. On and on it goes, and each situation is as unique as the last. Out of all the challenges a former Yakuza faces, you might think their massive tattoos are low on the list, but not in Japan. A Japanese person with tattoos, especially on the arms or torso, is immediately identified as Yakuza. They're marked as a person who wants to intimidate others. The tattoos are a major impediment to finding work. After leaving the organization, Shinya had his tattoos removed from the wrists to halfway up his forearms so they wouldn't be visible, even in a long-sleeve shirt or business suit. That being said, not all Yakuza have tattoos, but the longer someone is in the group, the more likely they are to have ink. Speaking with Vice, traditional tattoo artist Horiyoshi III, who was tattooing a Yakuza member during the interview, said he never works on the face or hands, explaining, "Beauty is in what you can't see." Each of his designs is a personalized story full of symbolic items like koi, which swim upstream and represent overcoming adversity. But no matter how personal, those stories need to be covered or erased if a former Yakuza really wants to integrate into law-abiding society after leaving the organization.